Good afternoon, everyone. Can I get a quick mic check? I'm going to turn off my... There we go. How we doing with this little market flush? Loud and clear. Okay. So I'm going to do just a quick lesson here. I've had my screen up because Nate's doing his thing. A presentation he's got to give. But I've had a question here from both Helen and Angela. And so we're going to use this as an example and just do a quick lesson because they both have made the same, it seems like they've both made the same trade and want some feedback on maybe why it didn't work. So, and Helen and Angela, thank you for being willing to discuss the trade on in the room and have that used as an example. That's definitely sort of a growth mindset position, and so I appreciate that because it takes people wanting to learn and getting that kind of feedback to help everybody else learn. So just so I can get a good idea of what's happening and what you were trading. You said earlier, and I'm gonna try and mark up. I have a SPY chart here, and then by the way, the market's just puking. One of the Fed people is talking. I can't remember where he was from, but so if you've got positions to manage, please do so. But what we're on the one chart. Use the 1 minute chart, and you said at 9:48. So we're gonna go right there. At 9:48, you both saw 9:47:48. Okay, so I put a dotted line in there where you took the SPY long, and then I will rewind this to that point. So this is what you saw at 9:47. Yeah, 9:47, 9:48. And you said your signal was telling you to go long in the SPY. I'm guessing for a gap close. Is that the thesis? You're on the 1 minute chart right there. So if we go forward one bar, right? There's your 148 bar. You said your signals were telling you to get long. Yeah? Okay. So what signals exactly were you seeing that were telling you should be getting long here? And either Angela or Helen can go ahead and answer. I know it's hard because you have to type it in, and I get to just talk. Your PSI indicator indicated a hidden bullish move. Okay, Helen's is at 156 or 956. Angela, was yours as well? Or your RSI? I was like, what's the PSI indicator? So should we just move forward? Or was this the spot that it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna help you. The lesson is it's going to become clear here pretty soon. And so it doesn't really matter what your entry was. So let's go forward to 955. So 954, we put in a low, a new low, and looked like a potential reversal. So here's 955. Let me put RSI on here. Is it an RSI divergence indicator or just an RSI indicator? Squeeze pro, it turned to yellow. Okay. And then we'll go. I'll put everything you had or were potentially using. Okay. So the 1 minute here at 55 had just turned yellow, right? From two reds to a yellow. Looks to me like you were getting a cross in the RSI. Or do I need the divergence one? Okay. So hold on. RSI divergence indicator. So then let's just close that one for now. Okay. So, and I'm guessing you bought 0 DTEs. Oh, here's your divergence. I see this. Right? A bullish divergence because of, even though the price is going lower, the RSI is not lower. Okay, good. So, and you got the rounding momentum here after 2 bars. So does that all look correct to what you were looking at? Are we good? Okay. So, and you were playing this. Okay. So you were playing this to the long side with a 0 DTE call. Is that correct? Oh, that's a D, not a P. It's not 0 PTE. Okay. And you were playing, it doesn't really matter what you were playing, the 575s, did you say? Something like that? You're a little out of the money? Okay, at the money, 570s. Okay, 570s. And I think, who was that? And Helen was probably playing, I think she was playing the 575s. Okay, neither one of those matters. Okay, here is in my opinion, from a trading perspective, here's what went wrong. Okay. You're playing a call to the long side, and the market. Let's see what happens. So now those are both worth 0 at the moment. I'm assuming, or nearly 0. So let's move our start time here to there at 55. Okay, good. So you get in along here. Now, what was your profit target and stop loss? So let's go profit target first. Did you have a profit target on this trade? You wanted a red to green move. Okay, so that would be a break above this. So this is your profit target. 571.62, a break above that. Okay, that makes sense. 57, yeah, okay, let's just put it at 573. I like that. Oh, that's way up there. Your profit target. So Angela's profit target was a red to green move. Actually, a red to green move would be down here, but let's just put it up here. And then 573 would be Angela's, right? Yeah, so gap close. So that's your profit target, okay? And what was your, so let's just say gap close because you're both kind of saying the same thing. So that's good. Okay. So gap close was your target. Let me get rid of this real quick. And what was your stop? These don't necessarily matter. Your profit target doesn't matter either, really. I mean, they could be different. Okay. So let's say one of you had this one. One of you had this one. What was your stop? $570.52. So what would that, is that swing low right there? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so here's your stop. All right, perfect. So if you got in right there, you're risking you're risking 31 cents to make $2.10. Does that seem about right? Okay. Good. So good risk reward. 31 cents to make $2.10. All right. So we have our trade in place. And the question is, what did they do wrong? Do you know where I'm going with this yet? Just going to let this continue to play. Okay. You're both in profit. Time is ticking away. You're both still in profit, but you're probably losing money on theta because you're on 0 DTEs. You'll notice I stopped. Why did I stop? Little fake breakout. Yeah, and these are minute candles, right? Yeah. And if you're playing 0 DTEs as well, one thing is with 0 DTEs, so the whole point that I have here is, what did you do wrong? In my opinion, it's just managing the trade. Right? It's not the signals that you were looking for. Right? It's not when you entered the trade. Right? It's how you managed the trade. Right? So you didn't do anything wrong. But if you're still in it now, you're trading on hope. Right? Oh, you're back, Nate? I'll jump off here in just a quick sec. I'm almost done. Um, you're gonna take us home? All right, take us home, buddy. So, you put on a trade here that in my opinion was it made sense. You have your signals that you're using. You had your risk reward. Your risk reward might have been a little skewed, right? I could see something like a break of the opening range potentially. like a full move back up here is expecting a lot, but it's not unheard of, right? It's not like, I mean, that was your thesis and that was your plan, so that's great. This is where your plan. This is where you ran into trouble. And it's what we call the big D, is discipline, right? You had a plan, or at least it sounds like you had a plan. My guess is maybe you started making the plan as I was asking you the questions. But if not, if that was actually your plan and you knew what your risk reward is, I'll give you a round of applause, because I think that is something that doesn't happen very often, right? But if you were making that plan as I was asking you about it, then you didn't have the plan prior to trading. Good. That's awesome, Angela. I love that you had a plan. So you just didn't follow your plan. It's that simple. Follow your plan. And listen, this is not, and I, like I said at the beginning, I really commend Angela and Helen for like wanting to use this as a learning tool for everybody, and being open and honest about what they were doing and why they were doing it. Uh, right. So it's just following your plan, and on a day that's going sideways, and you're playing zero DTE options, and in one of your cases I believe you were playing out of the money options, um that this is going to be an issue, right? It's really going to create a problem. So um well, I don't think there was anything wrong with the trade you made, and even if there was, I wouldn't, that's something you've got to learn. you know First, you want to follow your plan. That's step one. And then step two is revise how you make a plan if your trades aren't working on a regular basis. So if you're following your plan, like, FYP, if you're doing that and you're still losing on trades, then, modify your plan. Not during a trade, but how you're making your plan. Modify your trade plan. So, but don't change. In other psychology lessons, it's don't modify your plan mid trade, um, until you can prove to yourself that you can follow your plan regardless. Right? Does that make sense? And does that answer your question? Okay. Good, and I appreciate you guys using that as a piece of example. It's just follow your plan and discipline. That's it. All right, I'm gonna put Nate's screen back up since he's back, and I will stay. I will be here in chat all day. The other reason I was gonna say some indicators, if you guys are still in here, that made me think that we weren't really going to bounce hard. A gap close was possible, but I'm looking at a negative Vold rating when we opened this morning on the SPY, and I'm looking at a VIX that has, that opened and kind of pinned us down here around 1,000, right? Sorry, not a VIX, an advanced decline. And that just sort of made me feel, and there was a divergence actually in the Qs. The Qs had a positive Vold rating, which over the last couple of days has just kind of showed some sideways action, which has been kind of nutty. So, I was betting for some sideways movement, on the SPY, And we got that until fairly recently with this news on this flush. So anyway, I hope that helps. I will talk to you all later.